live on YouTube. Let's get up on Facebook here. Karma, practicing down dog for you. All right, let me get lined up. That's my puppy Karma. See if I can straighten this out without screwing everything else up. Good morning, everybody. So you can't see it on Facebook, but you can see it on YouTube. I've started to decorate for Halloween. You guys know I love Halloween. Well, maybe you know I love Halloween. I don't know. So yeah, as the weeks go past, you'll see some more fun stuff. Maybe I can keep it out of camera range. I don't know. All right, here we are. So I figured out. Okay, yeah. I figured out what was going on Facebook, and I actually could have gone live on the Any Day page. I figured it out, but I figured it out. Oh, did you just hear my knee? I figured it out too late, and I didn't want to make things more confusing. Good morning, Cheryl. Yeah, that's a kind of weird thing. Like right now, the way I went live on Facebook, I can't. Oh, there's the comments and stuff. Okay, because normally I can see who's popping on and watching and stuff. So, all right, morning. So yeah, I figured out how to do it normal. So we'll be back to normal next time. I think I am going to skip next week. I've got an event I want to attend, so I think I'm gonna skip it. So, all right. How is everybody? Good morning. If you can say hi, say hi. Obviously, YouTube is a different beast, but I wanted to let you guys know that I had expected to change up my website a little bit. I was going to switch over to something a little bit cheaper, but Wix was kind enough to give me a nice little discount on my webpage. So I'm going to leave that alone, which is way easier than starting all over again and redoing that. And if you guys know me, I get easily frustrated with technology. So yeah, there's Boba. So yeah, that will not change. However, oh no, I think I'm going to also go over to Patreon as well. So kind of just keep that in mind. So yeah, just another way to reach me and another way to support me if you're into that kind of thing. That's great. So I'm gonna get these guys calmed down, and we've got a Sun Salute heavy practice today. Good morning, Sandy. David, good morning. So if you need to, after 4 or 5 or 10 vinyasas, I'm kidding, it's probably not that bad. Probably. You can skip things, right? You can skip any position you want. You can go slower in things, you can modify things. So once you've had enough, you're good. You don't have to continue to kill yourself. And remember, never kill yourself. That's not a joke. But remember to listen to what your body wants. Now your brain might say, "Oh, I need to work harder." Maybe, right? Maybe that's true. And maybe your body just wants to relax and chill into something rather than work so hard. So every day, every practice, make sure you're doing what your body needs, right? That may or may not be what everybody else is doing. You may need to come out of something earlier. You may need to hang out in something longer. So just remember, this is always your practice, and you modify it to make your body be in the right place, right? So anyway, so let's go ahead and pop on over to the mat. We're going to be seated today. We're going to start seated today. So make sure that you're seated comfortably. A little bit of work sometimes. So we're upright on the pelvis. The belly is engaged so we can sit up nice and tall. Try to rest into your hips and your shoulders. Go ahead and close your eyes. And allow yourself to just be here, right? There is nothing to do. Just bring your brain to this moment, this place on your mat. Being aware of your breath. And just enjoy your natural breath. And breathing all through the nose, allow the breath to expand. So let your inhales get a little bigger. Let your exhales get a little bit more complete. And for just a moment here, work to the extreme. So those inhales get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you can take another sip of air. And your exhales, conversely, you're as empty as the lungs can possibly be as you exhale. And then see if you can find a middle. Right? So not the normal, natural, everyday walking around breath, not the great big, no space in the lungs breath, but something in between. Make it enough work that you can stay focused on it. And then we'll add on. So extending the arms out to the sides with the next inhalation, stretch the arms up. And exhale, bring them back down again. Let's do it again. And then one more time. Inhale back to the top. And then exhale, just your left hand back to the floor. Give yourself a little tip over to the left here. Taking a full breath. And then coming back up on your inhale. We'll switch sides. Back up to the center, inhaling. Over to the left again. That big full breath here maybe works you into a little bit deeper stretch. And then we'll come back up. And then the last time, taking it right, same idea, using your breath. Come back to center. And then exhale, release both arms. Let's come around onto hands and knees. Wrists under shoulders, spread your fingers wide and make sure you've got a nice foundation in the hands. Remember, you can cushion if it is a little challenging for the wrists or wherever. And then beginning to flow through some cat-cows, inhale the belly toward the floor. Exhale as you round your spine toward the ceiling. Flowing in and out with the breath. One more flow. Finding the neutral spine again here. And then let's make our way into down dog. So however you feel like getting there, you can move through plank, you can just lift your knees and then wiggle, your feet back. Whatever feels right for you this morning, moving in a way that your body needs you to move. And then just stretching, shifting a little bit here. Settling in. So pressing back into it, get into the calves here, you feel your hamstrings, maybe your back. Strong in through the arms. Make sure your belly's still engaged. Following the breath here, we're going to shift forward on an inhale, come to plank. And then back to your down dog on your exhalation. So forward and back. Remember, you can be on your knees here if that's where you need to be. Come one more time into plank. And then back to your down dog. Let's go ahead and drop down to the knees and then make our way into child's pose. Taking just a little mini break here. Give the arms a little bit of a rest because we're not done with that down dog, of course. Let's lift back up, down dog. Keeping the rest of the body as it is, let's lift the right leg, taking it straight back. Let the hip open, lifting the toes a little higher. We'll bend into the knee. Pointing the knee kind of at the ceiling. Make sure the left shoulder hasn't dipped to help. Keep the rest of the body in the middle. And then take the legs straight, square your hips again. Belly's engaged here. We're going to slide forward, come into a three-legged plank. The left knee can be on the floor if it needs. Back to your three-legged dog. Let's step the right foot through to the hands and come to a lunge. Go ahead and drop the left knee to the floor. Cushion if you need. And then let's take the right leg straight. So it might not be quite straight. Your hands might not be on the floor. So wherever you need to be here. Let's bend into the knee, sinking the hips low. Lengthen through the crown of your head here. We're going to add in a twist, bringing the right hand to the hip, rotate the belly toward the thigh. Think turning your sideways toward the ceiling, dropping the shoulder back. You can look up if you want to look up. That might be a little much for your balance. Let's release the twist. Take the leg straight again. Maybe flex the foot this time. See if you can find a little bit extra stretch. Maybe the leg's just finally straight. Keeping the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Bend back into the knee. See if you can descend into the hips a little bit deeper. And then leave the hips low, climb up on the thigh. Lifting the upper body. Hang on, you can press away, adding a little extra sensation here, of course. Or you can extend the arms. Let's release that. Lift the back knees, slide the right foot back and up for that three-legged dog where we came from again. Keeping the toes up off the floor, shift back to your three-legged plank. Again, that left knee can drop to the floor if you need it. This time, bend your elbows, drop to the floor, and then release the right foot. Once you're here, little baby cobra. So hug your elbows in, Roll into your shoulders, curling the chest away from the mat, releasing that. Let's press up and back into down dog. Working the second side then here. Again, working to keep the rest of the body as it is as you lift the left leg. So the hips are still square. We're extending through the heels, pressing the chest back. Go ahead and open the hip without shifting the shoulders and bend at the knee. Take the legs straight, square your hips again. Shift forward, three-legged plank and hold. You can drop the knee if you need, keeping the left toes up off the floor. Back to three-legged dog. And then step the left foot through to the hands. Dropping the right knee. Adjust so you have knee ankle alignment here if you need to still adjust. And then take your left leg straight when you're ready. Finding your hamstring stretch. Bending into the knee. Allowing the hips to descend. Finding space through your spine. Keep the hips nice and square here. So imagine pulling your legs together up underneath your body. We'll take the left hand to the hip and rotate around. Releasing the twist. Go ahead and take your legs straight again. See if you can find a little additional sensation. Bend back into the knee. Maybe sink a little lower into the hips. Keeping the hips low as you climb the hands up to the thigh, lifting the upper body. And then, of course, adding in arms if you want to add in arms. And they can do whatever your body needs, right? There's nobody here watching. So if you wanted to have your fingers interlaced behind your back, or you want them at your hips, or again, whatever your body is telling you that you need. And sometimes that's the most difficult thing to know. Strangely enough. We're going to release that and come back over to the lunge. Lifting the right knee, sliding the left foot, backing up for our three-legged dog. Keeping the toes lifted as we shift forward into three-legged plank. Drop it down. Release the left foot. Roll into the shoulders. Pull with the hands. Keeping the tailbone turning toward the heels, you can press and come a little higher, releasing it. And then backing up into your down dog. Let's go ahead and drop back down to the knees. Take a little mini break in your child's pose again here. So if your arms are getting tired, maybe slide your hands back by your heels. Take another breath. And then let's lift back to down dog. From there, stepping the feet forward, we'll come into standing fold. Let's take the hands either up to the thighs for support or up to the hips. Come halfway up and hold in the middle here. So the belly's doing a good amount of work. You're feeling your hamstrings squeeze maybe. You can definitely lean on your thighs if you need that for support. Shoulders are back. Try and keep the hips over the ankles rather than sinking back into the heels. And then like a hinge here. Inhale, come all the way up. So as if your hips were a hinge joint. They're not, of course, but as if they were. Bending the body in half. So take your hands to your lower back. You can interlace your fingers behind your back if you don't feel like you need support. You can definitely make these things more challenging or less if that's what you need. Make sure your feet are even on the floor. Little tuck of the tailbone. Draw the shoulder blades toward each other, lifting the chest up toward the ceiling. So again, it doesn't really matter where the hands end up as long as the spine is in the proper place. Keeping the chin back toward the throat to protect the back of the neck. Take one more breath here. On an inhale, we'll make our way back up to a neutral position. Releasing the hands. Roll your shoulders if you did something a little more intense for your shoulders. And then bring the hands to the thighs, coming over into that half fold again, and just kind of holding here for a moment. Keeping this 90-degree-ish bend in the hip here, go ahead and bend into your knees and sit in the chair. The hands go where the hands go. Just keep descending into the hips, lifting through the chest. Feeling even and steady on your feet. We'll take one more breath here. And then stretch to the ceiling. Inhale. Releasing the arms. And then moving into our sun salutes. So remember to connect to your breath. Take an extra breath here or there, but just really focused on the breath, no matter what else is happening, no matter where I am at in my talking, cueing. So let's go. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, take yourself over into a fold. With the inhale, come halfway up. Keep those shoulders back and the belly in. Exhaling, step yourself into your plank. Drop on down. Roll into cobra. You can go as deep as you want to at this point. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears and the elbows in, up and back into down dog. Inhale as you step forward into the fold again. Come halfway up with that next inhalation. And then back over. Reaching for the ceiling, inhale. And then release the arms. So let's do that exact same thing again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway up. And back to plank. Take it down, knees if you need knees. Roll to your cobra. And release. Back to down dog. Inhaling as you step forward, fold. Coming halfway up. Exhale over. All the way to the ceiling. Reach the arms. And release. So you got one more like that. This time you're going to do your thing. I'm going to go ahead and do, so if you get a little lost, take a peek up at the screen. Otherwise, connect to your breath and you go with your breath. So I'm not going to cue a thing. Well, I'll cue the first thing and then you're on your own. So inhale, lift the arms. And take it over. With the breath. Staying at the top here when you're through. Just kind of taking a moment to soak that in. And then we're going to add on with these next couple. So again, modify as you need. With an inhale, sit into chair. Exhale as you take yourself into fold. Come halfway up on an inhale. And exhale as you step back, down dog. Inhale, slide forward to plank. Exhale, down to the belly. Inhale, you roll for cobra. And release back to down dog. Inhale the right foot forward, lunge. Toes to fingers, knee or heel to the mat. And then lift, reaching the arms. Exhale as you come back down, down dog. Inhale into plank. And exhale to the belly. Cobra. And down dog. With the inhale, left foot forward. Adjust the toes if you need. Drop the back heel or knee and lift. Exhale to come back down again and into down dog. Sliding forward for plank. And then taking it down. Into cobra. Releasing back to your down dog. And then holding that down dog, we're dropping into child pose. You're gonna take 5 nice, big, slow breaths here. And your breath probably got a little out of hand. Bring it back. If you dropped into child's pose, go ahead and lift back to down dog. With the nice inhale, walking the feet to the hands, stepping, hopping, however you get done there. Halfway up inhale. Take it back over again. Into chair. And exhale, release. Like with dogs. So we've got one more of those. You can take the modifications, you can skip a vinyasa, you can take an A variation. If you're familiar with the Ashtanga practice. All right, inhale, sit into chair. Exhaling into your fold. Come halfway up. Exhale back into down dog. Inhale to plank. And exhale to the belly. Roll into cobra. And back to your down dog. Inhale the right foot forward, lunge. And come on up. Take it back down again on the exhale. Step back to down dog. Inhale plank. And drop it down. Cobra. Down dog. Inhaling the left foot forward. Heel or knee to the mat here. Coming up. And back down. Into down dog. Inhale forward plank. To the belly. Inhale cobra. Back to down dog. So then you hold down dog or drop into child's pose just like that. Big full breaths. If you drop down, lift back to your down dog. And with an inhale, step the feet forward into fold. Halfway up again. Back over. Inhaling into your chair. And exhaling to release it. So we're done with the full variations of that, but we're going to slide them in anyway. All right, so let's take a nice big step back with the right foot. And we're going to work into warrior two here. So left toes pointing forward, bending into the left knee. Right toes pointing out to the side, maybe the back edge of your foot The outside edge of your foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. Maybe not quite. Cut in a little bit. So extending the arms, keeping the shoulders over the hips, arms parallel to the floor. Let's take the right hand to the back of the thigh. Left palm turns toward the ceiling. We're going to reach up, dropping the left shoulder down. Let your chest open and lift. Coming back into warrior two. Bend the left arm, rest the forearm on the thigh, bring the right arm up and over the ear. So opening the body to the side of your mat as much as you can, sinking into your hips a little bit more if they'll go. Keeping this right arm in line with the ear. And then we're going to release that over into our lunge. So just like before, if you need the right knee on the floor, take it. We're going to take the left leg straight. Prop if you need to prop. Square your hips out. Push the left hip back. Invite the right hip around a little bit here. Bend back into the knee. And we're going to take our lunge a little bit more intense. Maybe. So maybe you simply drop the right knee to the floor. If it's already there, you can leave it there. Maybe we roll forward over the toes and then bring the knee to the floor. So your knee and ankle are a little bit closer together. Intensifies the stretch. If that's you, lovely. If it's not, don't worry about it. Sink low, low, low with your hips. Keeping the left heel on the floor. Climb up on the thigh, maybe. And the more you lift your upper body, the more intense the stretch gets. And of course, the arms can get in on the act if you'd like. Bringing the upper body back down. And then rolling over the back toes to lift the right knee off the floor. Take the hands and walk them around into the center of a straddle here. Make sure your feet are wide enough without being too wide. If you need to adjust, definitely do. And then we're going to open the toes to the corners of the mat-ish. Right? So you'll adjust your feet here as well. So just stay connected to your breath. We're going to exhale, bend into the right knee. And then inhale back to the middle. And exhale into the left knee. So as you go side to side here, take a peek at your knee and make sure your knee is lining with your toes, moving in the same direction, but not coming in front of your toes. So again, if you need to change where your feet are, you just change your feet. So let's go once more on each side like that. And when you're even, left and right, or right and left, come up to the middle. Taking the hands, walk them around back to our lunge. Sweep that left foot back and up for three-legged dog. On an inhale, shift forward, three-legged plank, and drop it down. Release the left foot, roll into a cobra, and then release that back to your down dog again. Let's go ahead and drop down to the knees, take a little mini break in between, and just kind of check in. Check in with your breath, check in with your body. What do you need? Take one more breath here. Back to down dog.
And then let's step the right foot forward into lunge. So moving to our second side, drop the back heel, lift the upper body, and you should be something similar to Warrior Two, but if you need to change exactly where your feet are, where your toes are pointing, make the changes. Extending into the arms when everything else is all set and good. Take the left hand back to the back of the thigh, right palm up, reaching toward the ceiling. Relax your right shoulder down, lift through your chest. Coming back to the middle, inhale. Let's bend the right arm, rest the forearm on the thigh, left arm up and over the ear. As open to the side as you can, descend into your hips. And then release it over to lunge. Taking the right leg straight. So you can adjust your feet a little closer together. You can drop down to the back knee. You can use blocks, your shin, whatever you got here. And then bend into the knee. Leaving the back knee where it is if it's already on the floor, or rolling forward over the toes to bring that knee forward a bit. And then sinking deeper into your hips. Keep them low, maybe lifting the upper body. Take your time with it. Let's release it. Coming back over to the lunge, rolling back over your back toes. And then taking the hands, walk them around into the center of the straddle. So feet are wide enough. Letting your upper body hang. And then taking the index and middle fingers, wrapping them around your big toes. Elbows out to the sides, you can pull on your toes, move into a little bit deeper stretch. Releasing the toes, take the fingers to interlace behind your back. Pull the shoulders closer together, stretch the knuckles away from the shoulders, maybe up off of your lower back even. Keeping a gentle little bend in your knees and elbows. If you hyperextend, this is a really easy place to do that, and we don't really want to do that to our joints. So think soft bend. Releasing the hands, bring them back to the floor. And walk them back around toward your right foot, lunging toward the top of your mat. Sliding the right foot back and up for our three-legged dog. And this time for real, last time shifting forward, coming into your plank. Dropping down to the belly. Releasing the right foot. And inhale as you roll into a cobra. Releasing that back to your down dog. Dropping down to the knees and giving yourself just that little second in your child's pose. Same idea as before, just kind of check in. Notice if you need something, whether it's just controlling your breath again, whether it's a drink of water maybe. But we do have to get back up. So back into down dog. From there, step the feet forward
and come to a standing fold.
We're going to move into our standing balance from this fold. So if you have a block and you want to use it, just in front of your feet will work. Let's shift all the weight over into the left foot. Keeping the right leg as straight as you can, and the left leg, of course, as straight as you can. So again, prop up on blocks if you're able. We're going to take the right leg and lift it away from the floor. So pressing through the heel, press your left hip back so the hips stay really square. Your right toes should be pointing at the floor. Ideally, both legs are straight, but at least this right leg straight. You can stay on the floor if that's you, or climb the hands up to the thigh here, lifting your upper body parallel to the floor as well. You can fly the arms if you want to fly the arms. We're going to take one more breath in this Warrior 3 variation. And then take your left hand to the floor, right hand to the hip. Open up your right hip and imagine stacking your right hip on top of your left. So now your leg is still straight, but your right toes are pointing toward the side rather than the floor. Close that back up. Release the right foot to the floor. And then just hang for a second. Let's take our second side then. So making sure the right foot is where you want it, nice and even into the mat, taking the left leg straight back, heel in line with the hip, pressing through the heels. And again, at least the left leg straight, if not the right. The hands on the floor, maybe just one up off the floor, or two. Bringing the upper body parallel to the floor as well. Fly the arms if you want to fly the arms on this side. Right hand back to the mat and the left hand to the hip. Open the hip, stacking hips, stacking shoulders. And then square the hips up again. Coming back to your fold and hanging in your fold. We'll step back into down dog. And go ahead and drop down into your last child's pose. This is it here. Everybody good? Breathe in. Let's go ahead and sit up on the heels, and we're going to bring the legs around front. Here we want to extend them long out front. So feet are flexed, toes pointing at the ceiling, nice and even on the sit bones. Lifting the chest, let's lift the arms. Hinge forward, coming into your fold. So take just a moment and really lengthen out here, pressing out through the big toe knuckle, grounding the sit bones evenly into the floor, and extending the crown of the head in the opposite direction. So find this extra length, see where it allows you to go in the fold. And then go ahead and release into it. So let your upper body round a little bit, let your head flop forward toward your shins-ish. Relax your arms. And if you did sort of round as you came forward initially, notice how this feels different than just flopping over. Creating the space and creating the length makes a big difference. So lengthen through your spine, draw your shoulders back, use your belly. Inhale, lift all the way back up. And then we're going to release the arms. Take your right foot into your inner left thigh, like tree, kind of. But instead of having the knee in front of the hip, see if you can open the knee
behind the hip. So your foot may or may not still be in contact with the left thigh. That's not super important, but it is super important to be upright on the pelvis. So if you feel a little crooked, adjust until your pelvis can be upright. Left leg is still straight, the foot is still flexed, using the belly. Let's come forward here. So think belly button to heel. Lengthen through your spine. Feel it as if you're coming into the center space rather than leaning to the right or left. And then again here, once you've created that space, this really long spine, relax into it and see what happens. Take one more breath. Lengthen out through your spine again, engage your belly, hinge back up. And then we're gonna rotate the belly around toward the left leg and fold over the left leg. Same idea as before. So create all this length, this space, the shoulders are down and back. The hands just kind of fall where they naturally can. And then what about here? Press a little harder into the left hand and see if you can get your belly button to rotate more toward the thigh. Tons of space. Shoulders are as square to the mat as you can. And then what happens here if you relax into it a little bit? Take one more breath. And then on that next inhale, lift back up again. Release your right foot. And we'll switch sides. So again, starting upright, bring the left foot to the inside. And then open the knee behind the hip as much as you can. Take a second to adjust, making sure your pelvis is rooted properly. So the spine can be extra long, and then we're gonna come forward here. Belly button to heel. Focusing on the alignment of your foundation, the alignment and length of your spine, and then maybe gently resting into it a little bit. So maybe the spine rounds a little bit here, but it's not just flopping over. With an inhale, make your way back up. Rotating the belly around to the right. Same idea here, folding forward. And really getting in there, right? Root your pelvis, extend out the crown of your head, rotate your belly around, square your shoulders up as much as you can, and then maybe release into it a little bit deeper. Engage your belly, lengthen your spine, and with an inhale, hinge back up again. Extending the left leg. Finding your aligned seat again here, maybe bouncing your legs out a little bit if that feels good. And then scooting forward on your mat a little because we will go back in just a second. Take the feet flat to the floor. Hanging onto the hamstrings, lift your chest, leaning back just enough. And then how about lifting your toes up off the floor? Taking the shins parallel to the floor. What about extending your legs long? Hang on, let go, adjust, play with it, take variations. Make sure your belly's doing the majority of the work, not your back. Bring the soles of the feet together and grab onto your ankles. Draw the heels in, lift your chest. And then go ahead and C-curve through the spine and roll on down to your back. Keeping the soles of the feet together, let them come to the floor. And just rest your knees out to the sides, releasing into the inner hip here. Let's bring the knees back together. Crossing the left ankle over the right knee, reach back behind the right thigh and releasing the fingers. Draw the leg in towards your body, pressing the left leg away a little bit if you want. Keeping the feet flexed, continue to draw the leg in toward the chest. And just notice how your spine wants to round. Maybe that lower back is pressing into the floor, or your shoulders have lifted away. If it doesn't naturally happen, don't make it happen. But just notice the shifts that your body will do to try and help bring this leg in. So keep the arms pulling toward you, but now use the leg to push back into the hands. So push and pull, make it more active, and see if you can find your neutral spine again. So maybe the leg isn't quite as close to your chest as before, but your spine is neutral and your shoulders are back. Breathing. Releasing it. We'll take both feet flat to the floor again. And then take the second side, right ankle over left knee, reaching back behind the left thigh. Draw the leg in. Let the spine round if it is. And then keep the arms pulling, press back with the leg. Can you find that neutral spine on the floor again? Let's release it, taking both feet flat to the floor. We'll open the arms out into a T position here. Picking the hips up, take them to the right edge of your mat and drop the knees to the left. So as always here, you can make this more or less intense, simply relaxing into the twist, or maybe looking to even up the knees, or taking the legs straight, toes towards your left hand. Any of those little variations, crossing your legs, whatever your body needs from you here. We're going to take one more breath. Gently bringing yourself back to the middle. And then switching sides, shift the hips left, drop the knees right. Same idea on this side. Relaxing into it more or working harder in it. Making modifications.
One more nice big breath on this side. Making your way back up to the middle. Pulling the knees back into the chest and just allowing yourself to rock. Squeezing the knees in as tight to the chest as they'll go. Pull the forehead toward the knees. Give yourself a squeeze here, nice and tight. And then release it, stretching long, fingertips to toes. Releasing your stretch and letting your arms come down by your sides. As always here, listening to your body, adjusting, propping, maybe coming to a seated position if this just isn't right for you today. Taking legs up the wall, sitting up against the wall, whatever you need here. Finding proper alignment. Resting the body. Most importantly, resting your mind. See if you can simply observe present moment. If the mind wanders, just bring it back. Allow yourself just a few minutes to simply rest.
Slowly drawing a deep, cleansing breath. And then let go. Bringing gentle movement back to the body, wiggling and stretching. Keeping the eyes closed and the mind quiet. As you bring your feet flat to the floor, and slowly make your way back to seated. Sitting well, we'll bring the palms to touch. Bowing to the light within. Namaste. Good stuff. I hope you got a nice little yoga buzz. I hope you can't hear the dogs as much from outside as I can. Enjoy your weekend. Again, I'm probably taking next weekend off, but I will put little reminders either on Facebook or in emails. If you have suggestions, comments, questions, either you can put them in the comments here, and or you can contact me either by email or in private messages. So thanks, you guys. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you when I see you. Bye. Thanks, Cheryl. Bye, Sandy. Yes to the buzz. Bye.